Hello everyone, Russell Wright from networkempire.com and onefeedtorulethemall.com. I want to thank all of you who showed up for our One Feed to Rule Them All free webinar. I've included the link to this replay. Now, we did get different feedback about that webinar. Some people felt it was too complicated and some people felt it needed more. And we gave as much as we could for about an hour and a half, and go ahead and watch that webinar if you have a chance. Now, the reason that we didn't give the specific actions is because that's part of a paid course. It's $47 for networkempire.com exclusive members and $97 for the general public. And the exclusive membership for the One Feed to Rule Them All course also gives you access to our done for you RSS automation and submission product. So if you don't like the idea of taking our course and learning how to do this process, we have it all figured out with our outsourcing team, and you can just purchase the product on our Fiverr clone, and I've left all that information here. But let's quickly go over what's in this course so that you know. I'm going to go through it rather quickly here on my little brain software. One RSS feed to rule them all. You're going to go over it's the basic introduction for those of you who don't know anything about RSS. We found it necessary to cover the basic on what really simple syndication is all about and what the heck is an RSS feed, RSS sitemaps, and XML. Starts to get a little more advanced as we progress through the course. Some people do get confused on how RSS differs from sitemaps and XML. We're going to talk about going from RSS to HTML. We're going to talk about pinging, because the topic of pinging and spinging or ping spam is pretty prolific right now. A lot of people are very confused about what is or is not ping spam. Why do I need to submit my RSS feeds if my blog does that automatically? Because some of you, probably most of you, already know that a blog by default already has an XML RPC function in it, which is actually the defining quality of what a blog actually is, whereas static HTML sites do not do that. And that's one of the advantages of having a blog. Okay, so we'll talk more about that and take that to a whole nother level. We're also going to talk about the RSS basics, just an introduction for those who might be anywhere from basic to intermediate, and finding your own blog's feed, your main feed. And those of you who think you know everything about blog feeds, you'll probably learn a thing or two that I didn't even know until very recently, about the fact that you can create blogs that are sorted based on keywords, your categories have feeds, your pages have feeds, how to use all this with blogs. Also, we're going to talk about WordPress settings for the feed from your blog. These, again, are ideas about how to set your feed depending upon whether you're in your WR1 or WR2 web ring, that is within your own personal brand empire, whether that's small or large. We're going to show you the proper settings and the options for settings in a blog that you might want to consider when it comes to what your RSS feed is going to be used for. A lot of people get confused about this, so we're going to cover this quite a bit. Single feed RSS turned into 3 channels. This is the more advanced stuff that many of you have been waiting for. We're going to talk to you about turning a feed into multiple channels. We're going to talk to you about the difference between your money blog and your secondary blogs, as well as when you should use YouTube and how to mix your money blog primary RSS feed with your YouTube channel feed. We're talking about multiplying the feeds or feed splicing. Again, this is advanced techniques, but it's becoming more and more important as we move into the social web and as social and main web or legacy become one entity. I'm going to talk to you about how that's moving together and how to easily, step by step, within a given spreadsheet process map, implement this either for yourself on your own sites or for your clients. Then we're going to talk about spinning the feeds. This is a very interesting topic that Sue Bell covers. I'm not going to be teaching that section, but it's very powerful to understand that you can also alter and change the feeds and spin them in various ways. Syndicating the feeds. We're going to talk about the syndication of your feed in multiple places, and it really does depend on what it is that you're trying to accomplish with your feed, whether you're going into social spaces, how you're going to broadcast. Again, broadcasting your feed is something that many people misuse. They tend to drop the ball on feed broadcasts because they're very confused about how feeds can be used. For example, some people love the idea of having a feed for their blog so people can subscribe to their blog and always be updated within their newsreader about what's happening on a blog, but they fail then to submit that blog and syndicate that blog out into other places, letting the world know that their blog is available for subscription. So we want to talk about that. Also, we're going to walk you through the step-by-step process of syndicating for both social automation, syndication, and subscriptions, as well as for pure SEO value and automation. Both of those are kind of happening at the same time, and it's very hard for most non-technical people to get their heads around the fact that you can use it for both social and syndication at the same time. We're also going to talk about extra reach and traffic, how to create even more channels with your RSS feed, splicing and dicing for authority with RSS. This is our secret sauce that is about literally riding the tailwind of high page rank blogs or highly trafficked blogs, or even more importantly, blogs that are updating quite frequently. If you splice your blog feed with a blog feed of someone who is not your competitor but is in the same topic as you are, you can actually get your blog feed and RSS syndicated more prolifically through the RSS space, through the RSS directories, and further, you can actually get quite a bit of leverage, and there is some controversial evidence that that affects page rank. And we'll talk more about that. We're also going to talk about splicing and dicing with popular video. One of the things we've discovered is a little method that you can actually mix your video with your blog channel for a little bit of extra lift. We're also finding that since feed jacking is so common in the Black Hat and in the WR2 automation or your social blog automation processes, which I take part in the automation of video blogs every day, and as part of the upcoming course we have coming in late December called PinVid. Now, this is something that's very important to understand. When you're putting your videos out there on YouTube or videos from your own blog, there are experts out there who automate everything, like myself, who feed jack those feeds. They steal those feeds and they republish them on their own blog platforms. This is really important to understand for two reasons. One, if you're making your own videos, you want to remember that people are going to be jacking those videos, and that affects things like, your watermark, www.yoursite.com, also the way that the video person or the speaker will close his video, such as please do visit mysite.com. If you don't say that, feed jackers are getting free access to your videos, and people might just decide to buy on Amazon instead of your own site if you're not closing every video with your URL and have a watermark across that video, giving people the ability to go directly and type into their browser your domain. Additionally, splicing and dicing with popular videos and knowing what you're doing will allow you to ride the tailwind, so to speak, of other popular YouTube channels that are updating very frequently, and then you can splice those with your own topics, and it'll get you quite a bit of extra reach, so that when somebody feed jacks that video feed, sure, they're going to get your competitor and or the same topic or theme video blog on whenever they're publishing or feed jacking, but they're also going to get a lot of your videos in the mix. So that's the advantage of mixing feeds with topics that are related to your own. So you're basically saying kind of like steal this book or steal this video, so to speak. You want them to steal this feed. And we're going to talk a little bit more about why splicing and dicing is popular and how you can actually get a lot of extra reach with that topic. Also, backlinking feeds. We're going to talk a little bit about how feeds have changed over the last few months and years, how backlinking has a diminishing return, and has more and more people are reporting that their backlinking processes via RSS automation has more and more of a diminishing return. We're going to prove that false when you do it properly, especially with video. We're going to talk about the ways to do this and the ways not to do this. We're going to walk you through this process again, folks, step by step. And topic 5 is using RSS for social reach. This is where a lot of people get really confused. In fact, we deliberated whether or not we should break this down into 2 courses, because it gets very confusing to non-technical individuals when you should use something for when you should use your RSS for SEO, in other words, ranking on the search engines and so on and so forth, and feed jacking and all that stuff, and when you should use it through your own social media platforms. When do you syndicate your videos to Facebook, for example? When do you submit your blog posts to Twitter? When do you mix these things up, and how much is too much, and how do you control the timing and so on and so forth? Probably a complete course in and of itself, but we have had such a demand for the basic beginning processes on this that we're going to at least get into it with you. Distributing to branded WRS1 social media sites. Okay, those of you who've been with us for years know that we're actually teaching you how to build an online empire using RSS feed and multiple processes. The WRS1 is probably the most important, so that you don't syndicate the material that's your unique content, your unique videos, your unique social updates to too many places or to the wrong places. We're going to show you how to do that. Okay, and then following that, we'll go into thinking carefully about your brand. This is something that even takes us a lot of time to think through carefully. Sometimes we'll run a feed into a social media platform and decide it doesn't really look that good, or maybe we're updating too frequently, or maybe we shouldn't automate this. We're going to talk about things that cannot be automated as well right now, such as Pinterest and so on and so forth. We'll give you some insider tips on how to automate certain things, and the things that can't be automated as well as the pitfalls that you might experience when you try to automate some of these things. Okay, then we're going to get into understanding the visitor's perspective. One of the things that most of our students forget is when you run a feed through any of your social media places, in other words, a place where a social media platform where there are real people going to be seeing your updates, you need to look at it from their perspective, not from the time of publish. This has to do with knowing that if you have hundreds of followers on Twitter, you're only going to have a few people in any given minute or moment that are even going to see your Twitter feed. This is why you really want to have about 24 tweets per day, and at least once per hour, because it's like a moving timeline, and you need to understand what things are like from your visitor's perspective. This is something that is probably one of the biggest blind spots for people who are constantly publishing on Facebook. They don't realize that when they see something on a timeline that somebody has published to their timeline could have been hours ago, and you're only seeing it now. So we talk about how RSS can be more organized to make sure that you get the biggest bang for your buck there. Also, we're covering planning content distribution for optimal effectiveness. This means, how do you plan a sequence of tweets or a sequence of Facebook updates and run them through various platforms? What platforms we recommend, what you should and should not do with certain platforms, and how to use the GUID versus the time and date stamp on an RSS feed. So you can pretty much automate your entire empire. We get at least 50% more traffic since we've automated certain aspects of our empire. And then we're going to move you right into the WRS2 and the WRS3 social media distribution. This is a scope or a scale or a zoom out, if you will, of places you could take your empire, especially empires that have 5 or more blogs and have keywords with 5 million pages, keywords that have 5 million competing pages or greater, things that are probably designed to be more of a brand, a vertical market that is pretty large, probably in hundreds of millions of dollars of total search market value, as we teach within the Kraken application. And then finally, we're going to get into non-branded distribution. How you can, how do I say this without sounding black hat, kind of hack the system to drive huge amounts of traffic using platforms that you do not own under your branded flag, that can still drive traffic to the primary brand and even lead to conversion at the end of the line. We're going to talk about how timing is everything, how to use the time date stamp, and how to use GUID and RSS feed. The echo effect. The echo effect really covers the idea that if you have evergreen content running through a single feed, it's entirely possible that you can use that feed again in the future if that feed's not going to go out of date. And keeping this in mind helps you create content and feeds and RSS syndication processes that are evergreen and can be used again and again for your unbranded sites. Then we're going to walk you through this entire process, step by step, and of course you're going to be left with the spreadsheet and the process map. That is the complete process map or spreadsheet used by our outsourcing team whenever we have a client purchase on our own Fiverr platform or our Fiverr clone platform, our one feed to rule them all gig, Fiverr gig. We have several versions of this. If you purchase this course, you have special access to pricing that is less than the general public for this done-for-you, one feed to rule them all product. So I do recommend that you consider that an advantage for purchasing the how-to. We also have special pricing done for you RSS automation, as I just described. Again, I want to remind everybody who is already a networkempire.com basic member or a recurring member that you already have access to the discounted price of any and all of our done for you Fiverr gig platform knockoffs. Okay, so that means that any of our in-house done for you packages or gigs that we have approved or created that our privately owned outsourcing team has created, you have special networkempire.com members prices for that, so that you can increase those prices to your clients, and your clients will never be able to see the prices that you're charged for the Fiverr gigs or for our Network Empire, which will soon be empiregigs.com prices. That way you can, of course, serve your clients effectively at a profit. So just want to make sure, because a lot of you will probably write the help desk and ask us if you need to, if you do not purchase the one feed course, will you still have access as Network Empire members to those done for you gigs? Yes, you will, just to make sure. Also, you're going to have special free trial pricing for the recently launched Google Plus RSS generator software. This is a more advanced technique that allows you to turn your Google Plus social stream into an RSS feed. I also give tips, tricks, and techniques about how I automate my blogs, especially my WR1 video blogs, directly to Google+, and how I have a persona for every blog that I do, and how those blogs can be automatically syndicating to RSS using a plugin that some joint venture partners have created, and how our software allows you then to turn your Google Plus into an RSS feed and then follow the same processes of mass syndication, video splicing, and what we call wind drifting, or riding the tailwind, if you will, of higher page rank blogs and YouTube channels in the same precise way. In fact, you could even mix your Google Plus social feeds with your regular blog feeds for more impact, and Google will love you for it because the Google dashboard loves traffic signal to the G Plus platform, because Google Plus is a social data hub partner, of course, because they invented it, along with the other platforms like Quora and the rest. So where to sign up? Hopefully all of you have already been to onefeedtorulethamall.com. I've also included a link with this email and on this sales page. Just go ahead and click below to get access to the price. You can see that it's $97 for current non-members of networkempire.com and $47 for Network Empire members. Now, if you are not a current networkempire.com member, that's a monthly recurring membership, yes, you may purchase a recurring membership at networkempire.com before you purchase this course, and you will only pay $47 for it. Now, if you are a current Network Empire member, please do click on this link here that says Member Special Offer Page, and you're going to need your Network Empire username and password, and log into this page, because this page is going to give you your coupon code of how to sign up for the $47 discount, and that's a significant enough discount for members that you're going to want to do that. Okay, you just enter that coupon code here and then purchase, and then you're ready to go. You will be available to get on the webinar tomorrow afternoon, and on the inside of this page is a sign up for tomorrow's webinar, which is November 20th, 2012. I look forward to seeing you in that webinar, because we're going to jump right into everything that I just discussed. And of course, Sue Bell is going to be present, and we're going to actually start unveiling this process map that our entire outsource team is doing for the Done For You products. I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's webinar, and you're going to love what we're presenting. Russell Wright from networkempire.com. We'll see you on the inside.